Welcome back. The Trump administration seeing massive progress in the first 100 days across all agencies. FCC Chairman Brendan Carr touting the wins made in just the 3-month period, including unleashing high-speed infrastructure, restoring America's leadership in wireless communication, expanding America's space economy, and more. Joining me right now is the man himself, the chairman of the Federal Communications Commission, Brendan Carr. Mr. Chairman, great to see you. Thank you so much for being here. You say the Biden administration allowed the United States to fall behind. Walk us through the progress.
Yeah, look, so President Trump's commitment to changing how Washington works, his energy, is really contagious, and you can see it across all of these administrative agencies. Just in the first 100 days, as you noted, the FCC is off to a quick start. We've been restoring U.S. leadership in wireless. We've been unleashing new high-speed infrastructure bills. You won't believe this, but there's actually rules on the books that force providers to continue to invest billions of dollars in these old copper line networks, even when they want to move those investments over into high-speed networks. And so we're looking to change those rules in America's space economy. Look, for years, it took longer for a license to authorize these launches and communications to move from one desk to another in Washington, D.C., than it took for folks to actually build these rocket ships. And so giving America's space economies a big boost is one of our top priorities. But to your point, spectrum is so important. You know, most people don't think about it, but for your smartphone to work, for you to get high-speed internet at your home without having to go through cable or another wireline provider, we need spectrum. This is one of the areas where the Biden administration fell into a deep malaise. We fell way behind China when it comes to these airwaves, and that's a problem for our economy, but really a problem for national security as well.
Well, I mean, that's right, and that's why we've been talking a lot about space recently. I'm working on a new piece on space, and I wonder if the next war happens in space because that's where our satellites are. Wouldn't it be very convenient for an adversary to go in and try to move our satellites or shut down the satellites? That would, turn the lights off in America.
Yeah, that's why it's so important that we dominate in the space economy, and that's one of the things that President Trump is leading on. We're taking his cues from that here at the FCC. We're going faster to get more satellites into what we call low Earth orbit so we can provide high-speed internet. But also, to your point, GPS is a satellite-based technology. It's vital to our national security, our economy, but it's vulnerable. And so we've actually launched a proceeding that picks up on some of Trump's leadership to look at alternatives to satellite-provided GPS. So if something does happen up in space, we can continue to thrive. But again, spectrum is so key. And if you look at Chairman Cruz in the Senate, he's been leading the way. He's put down a clear marker that we need at least 600 megahertz of additional spectrum to catch up with China. Right now, China has over 4 times the amount of spectrum that we have in the U.S. Imagine being 4 times behind China on something so important to our economy and national security. Congress has a real chance here through reconciliation, because by restoring the FCC's authority to clear these airways for the commercial sector, you can raise something in excess of $80 billion just in a CBO score alone. So you want to pay for tax reform, you want to pay for border, you want to pay for deficit reduction. Restoring the FCC Spectrum Auction Authority is a really good win.
Brendan, the FCC voted on Monday to review the decades-old spectrum sharing rules as well. You're reforming regulations to free up more power and strengthen the wireless communications because Beijing has made that headway in 5G infrastructure. So thanks for that. You said the move could also offset national budget constraints, generating what, $80 billion in revenue for the government?
Yeah, that's exactly right. I mean, look, there's good news and bad news. The bad news is during the Biden years, we did fall deeply behind China. The good news is we have the playbook. President Trump came in his first term and said he wants to lead the world in 5G, and we did exactly that. We leapfrogged China. The U.S., left the Biden administration in a leadership position, and we fell behind. And so I think this Trump administration is going to step up again, and we're going to have to leapfrog China once again. So we're behind, but we got a playbook. We know how to execute. But the key is really for Congress to restore the FCC's auction authority through reconciliation. Again, as you noted, that's going to generate billions of dollars, which we really need to do right now.
Mr. Chairman, the FCC is also overseeing the proposed merger between Paramount Global and Skydance Media. This is a deal valued at $8 billion. What does the review focus on, Brendan? What do you want to see? Because this merger between Paramount Global and Skydance Media is also involving the transfer of CBS broadcast licenses, right?
Yeah, exactly right. So any review of a transaction like that, the FCC has to only move forward if it finds that granting this merger will serve the public interest. So that's what we're looking at right now. We're doing our normal review. One thing that I've been clear across the board to any company that wants a deal before the FCC is they have to end any invidious forms of DEI discrimination. We've made some progress already with regulated entities on that. I expect in the next week or so we'll have some more announcement about telecom companies that are ending their promotion of DEI. That's a great thing. We've ended the FCC's own promotion of DEI. I mean, people will be shocked. We were spending millions of dollars promoting DEI at the FCC, and we've put an end to that.
So have you heard from Paramount or from, you know, the Skydance executives in terms of what they're doing with DEI and whether or not they are going to scale back those things?
Yeah, we're having those discussions with them. We're having those discussions with a lot of other companies as well. We're running our normal course there, and we've definitely been meeting with all these parties.
Do you expect if that deal goes through, it triggers other deals within the space?
Yeah, we got a number that are right before us. So Verizon, for instance, is looking to purchase Frontier. T-Mobile is looking to merge with U.S. Cellular. We're taking a look at all of those. You know, usually we have about a 180-day clock that we try to move on for transactions. We're obviously just over 100 days here, but we're going to be sort of landing some of these transactions pretty soon. And again, the key is to unleash America's private sector. The other big thing we're doing right now is deregulation. We launched the most massive deregulation effort in the FCC's history. It's titled In Re, Delete, Delete, Delete. And we're looking at every single rule and regulation on the book, and we're going to get rid of those that simply aren't necessary anymore.
Yeah, I mean, the deregulation that President Trump has instituted hasn't really been felt yet. And it's going to have a huge impact, not just on the banking sector, of course, other sectors, the energy space with permitting, but also in media.
Yeah, this is going to be a big part of the legacy of the second Trump administration. You know, he's been very clear about wanting to get government out of the way, unleashing the private sector. We've already teed up over 2,000 dockets at the FCC for closure that are sort of dormant. We've already closed, in fact, 100. So I think this massive deregulatory effort is going to really help unleash America's private sector, and that's going to be great for the economy and great for the consumer.
It's what President Trump told me in my interview with him about a month and a half ago, that when he leaves office, he would like to see an economy run by private enterprise. And that's what all of this is moving toward. Brendan Carr, it's great to see you this morning. Thanks so much.